सगळ्यांचा एक प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे की ह्याचं प्राइसिंग फायनली कसं दिसणार आहे इज नो वन इज क्लिअर अबाउट इट. द फायनल ॲज ऑफ नाव रिलायन्स ओनली हॅज अ प्लॅन ऑफ गिव्हिंग यू थिंग्स फ्री, पण दे आर गोइंग टू गिव्ह यू थिंग्स फ्री ओनली टिल द 31st of December 2016. On the 1st of January 2017, Reliance comes up with an elaborate plan in terms of सबको चार्ज कैसे किया जाएगा. तो त्या यांच्या सगळ्यांचा प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे की आत्ताच्या घडीला जस्ट बिकॉज ही इज गिव्हिंग यू समथिंग फ्री, डोंट फ्रीक आउट अँड डोंट गेट इन टू दिस. कारण ज्या दिवशी ते झालं ना त्या दिवशी यू शुड हॅव लुक्ड ॲट टेलिकम्युनिकेशन कंपनीज के CEOs and everybody talking on most of those business channels. And there was this palpable sense of fear. There was this palpable sense of की something terrible has happened. आणि कदाचित आपल्याला आपल्या व्यवसायाबद्दल खूप वेगळा विचार करण्याची गरज आहे. म्हणजे या तो we need to shut it down or we need to think of smart merger or something like that. Okay? But then by next morning when the stock markets opened up and you had everyone tanking, सगळ्यांना एका अर्थाने समाधान या गोष्टीचं होतं आपले शेअर्स टँक झाले बरे पण रिलायन्स पण टँक झाले. So that the Reliance share went down by 4% was sort of बाकीच्यांचे 8% गेले 10% गेले पण काही का असो त्यांचा पण टँक झाला. So you are satisfied with this. You then they immediately had this sense की बाबा ठीक आहे म्हणजे आत्ताच्या घडीला आपण काहीतरी गडबड गोंधळामध्ये अनाउन्स करणे. May they have started doing it. Vodafone has done it. I know for sure that Airtel has done it. They have all started giving you some things for lower prices and all of that. वो गेम सुरू हो चुका है. पण त्यांनी सगळ्यांनी फायनल जे करायचं आहे ना ते आताच्या घडीला करायचं नाही असं ठरवलेलं आहे की आताच्या घडीला कीप क्वाइट वेट अँड वॉच की इसका क्या नतीजा होगा. कारण जी लोक आता जिओला शिफ्ट होत आहेत ना ती लोक जिओला शिफ्ट होत आहेत ओनली बिकॉज यू आर गेटिंग समथिंग फ्री. दे आर नॉट जिओज ड्युरेबल कन्झ्युमर्स. दे विल टर्न इनटू ड्युरेबल कन्झ्युमर्स इफ देअर एक्सपिरियन्स ऑफ द फ्री सर्व्हिस इज सच दॅट इट मेक्स देम फील की एका बाजूला द सर्व्हिस क्वालिटी इज गुड आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला ऑन द 1st of January when the final price would be announced, if they feel that these prices are good enough for them, then they would become Reliance's durable consumers. नाहीतर ते होणार नाही. म्हणून these people are like कि we don't know कि अपना मार्केट शेयर एग्जैक्टली इरोड कितना होने वाला है. तो आज की तारीख में चुपचाप बैठो, कुछ भी मत करो, जो भी होगा वो 1st January को देखेंगे when their final price plan comes in, and then accordingly we need to make those adjustments. Okay, but for sure this market is not as of now in a position. उसका एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जिस किस्म का ग्रोथ और डेवलपमेंट की उम्मीद की गई थी with Mr. Modi in 2014, that has not materialized on the ground. And I believe it is time that finally now when we are close to 2017, we finally acknowledge it. For everything that was announced, for everything that was said, there is not much of a movement actually on the ground. And a couple of cases related to things like agriculture and everything, the situation is worst, practically speaking worst. तो ऐसा वाला सिचुएशन में प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ये किसका प्रायोरिटी है, कौन खरीदेगा इसको. ओके, सो द होल गेम इज कि मार्केट शेयर लिमिटेड है. उस लिमिटेड शेयर में रिलायंस ने आज की तारीख में एक बहुत बड़ा डाव खेला है, पर आगे जाके क्या होगा ये फिलहाल तो मालूम नहीं है. तो फिलहाल जस्ट सिट टाइट एंड वॉच ओवर द गेम. And then on the 1st of Jan we will take the final call in terms of हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा. So maybe as I said, I तो don't see any hope for Idea Cellular Services carrying on for a longer period of time. I तो clearly visualize with whatever is happening that Idea possibly would merge or Idea possibly will have to be shut down. There's no other way by which this game can be played. And being the sort of smart person that he is, I don't think that he is going to be interested in this for. अगर आपका market share erode होते रहने वाला है कि जिस तरह से वो आज की तारीख में erode हो जाएगा, देखते हैं. We are everyone is like watching for it कि final price plan कैसा है. हाँ.
Sir, what is the relation in between IMEI number and Reliance Jio?
IM?
Yeah, of that consumer's smartphone. IMEI number.
हाँ. नहीं, I have no idea कि whether there is any relationship between the two, because Reliance is as of now hawking quite a range of phones. But that they are interested in what is called as the LYF phones, which they are finally planning to get into India sometime very soon now. And the whole idea is the LYF, it's normally spelled as life. The life phones is what Jio would become completely compatible on. But I don't know, IME का क्या रिश्ता है मेरे को seriously मालूम.
सर ते सिम ज्यावेळेस आपण घ्यायला जातो म्हणजे फ्री मध्ये मिळते, आपण ज्यावेळेस ते घ्यायला जातो त्यावेळेस त्यांना आपल्या स्मार्टफोनचा IMEI नंबर पण द्यावा.
म्हणजे आपल्या फोनचा
आपण जे ते वापरणार आणि स्मार्टफोन मध्येच ते वापरतो. मग ते काय रिलेशन?
मग दे आर क्रिएटिंग अ डेटाबेस ना, तुम्ही ते तुम्हाला ऍड करतात इन द डेटाबेस की तुम्ही त्यांचे प्रॉस्पेक्टिव्ह कन्झ्युमर्स आहात.
मग सर ते काय
ते तुम्हाला तुम्ही उद्या त्यांचा फ्री प्लान संपल्याच्या नंतर अगर आपने उनका साथ छोड़ दिया तो वो आपको बार बार याद दिलाते रहने वाले हैं कि देखिए हमारा पुराना रिश्ता था और बहुत अच्छा था. तो वो बेसिकली इज अ प्लॅन ऑफ कीपिंग यू ऑन बोर्ड. तुमच्याकडनं त्यांना मी काय म्हणतो त्यांना सगळ्या प्रकारचा डेटा तुमच्याकडनं पाहिजे. दे आर रिअली इंटरेस्टेड. इंटरेस्टिंगली इनफ I have heard of cases where they are even demanding Aadhaar card numbers. Aadhaar card numbers, Aadhaar card details. आता Aadhaar card details वरती सिम घ्यायला जायचा, मग मला ते एकदम रेशन कार्डची आठवण आली सिम. किंवा साखर आल्याच्या नंतर पहिली आठवण कशाची यायची तर रेशन कार्डची यायची. तर सिम फुकटमध्ये मिळते म्हटल्याच्या नंतर पहिली आठवण कशाची यायची तर आधार कार्डची. इट वॉज व्हेरी सिमिलर टू दॅट सॉर्ट ऑफ एन एक्सपिरियन्स. म्हणजे why do you need my Aadhaar card details? But वही तो गेम है ना कि वो जो पूरा चीज है ना that is going to work across a range of platforms. आणि त्यांनी तुम्हाला एका गोष्टीमध्ये हुक ऑन केलं ना तर तुम्हाला सगळ्या गोष्टींमध्ये हुक ऑन करत जाणार. So the whole idea is की as of now they want त्यांना दाखवायचं असं की बाबा तुम्ही आमचे आत्ताच्या घडीला एक ड्युरेबल कंझ्युमर आहात. उद्या तुम्ही ज्या वेळेला फ्री सर्व्हिस संपल्याच्या नंतर जर का तुम्ही आमची सर्व्हिस बंद केली तर मग ते तुम्हाला वेळोवेळी या गोष्टीची आठवण करून देत राहणार आहे की बाबा आम्ही बघा आता एक नवीन प्लॅन आणलेला आहे, मग आम्ही असं करतोय, मग आम्हाला हे करायचंय, मग तुम्ही बघा हे तुमच्यासाठी फायद्याचं आहे. सो रेग्युलर सॉर्ट ऑफ पेस्टरिंग दॅट दीज पीपल डू. ते करणार, ते उद्या डेफिनेटली तुमच्याकडे ते करायला येणार. तो इतक्या स्वस्तात सोडणार नाही कुणाला.
आपण दोन वर्ष रिलायन्स जिओचा प्लॅन चालेल म्हणजे सक्सेस होईल किंवा तो चालणार नाही. जर आपण सक्सेस झाला तर आपण रिव्होल्युशनच्या जवळ वगैरे विचार करतो. जर ते चालू नाही तर टेलिकॉम मार्केटमध्ये हा म्हणजे ह्यूज लॉस असेल. तो रिलायन्स तर असेल त्यांची एवढी 15 बिलियनची इन्व्हेस्टमेंट, पण बाकी ओव्हरऑल टेलिकॉम मार्केटचं हे खूप मोठं लॉस असेल.
नो, निश्चित नाही. हे बघ आजच्या घडीला एक गोष्ट खूप क्लिअर आहे की हे न चालण्याची कारण रिलायन्समुळे घडणार नाही. जे रिलायन्स इन्फोकॉमचं झालं ना ते ह्याचं डेफिनेटली होणार नाही. Reliance Infocom was almost a deliberate choice of a wrong technology with the belief that this would be what the future is. तो इसका ये नहीं होने वाला. इसका गेम खराब किधर होने वाला है, अगर 5G का जो रोल ऑन है ना ये अगर स्पीडियर हो गया, ओके, आता त्याच्यात एक गेम काय आहे, वी नीड टू चेक आउट दॅट की इन टर्म्स ऑफ द नेटवर्क कॉम्पॅटिबिलिटी how much can it work? I have the same network, the same sort of towers and fiber optic network which I have in place. Would it be capable of carrying the 5G thing? On the face of it, थोड़ा problem है because 5G ज़्यादा voluminous data है और ज़्यादा speedier data है. तो उस situation में शायद आपका network काम नहीं करेगा. Okay, but that sort of disruption would be the only disruption. It would only be a technological disruption which can cause a trouble for Reliance as of now. There is no other problem. The only other problem would be with the pricing plans, which say for example the other competitors deciding that we will even go lower than this, and with something great that would come out from the BSNL MTNL thing. So उधर अगर BSNL MTNL इससे भी भारी plan लेके आया, so obviously for any consumer what a consumer is looking out for is reliable service at a lesser price. That's simple. मला ह्याच्या पलीकडे काही नको की सर्व्हिस सगळ्या सिच्युएशन्स मध्ये रिलायबल असली पाहिजे आणि सर्विस एट अ लेसर प्राइस असली पाहिजे. तो प्राइस वाइज जो है ना ये टेक्नोलॉजी का नेचर ही ऐसा है कि दिस इज द रेस टू द बॉटम. सो आप कुछ भी करो, द वे इन विच दिस टेक्नोलॉजी ऑपरेट्स ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द कंज्यूमर इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू गेट अ लेसर प्राइस. द ओनली क्वेश्चन इन अ कंट्री लाइक इंडिया इज अबाउट व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज अ रिलायबल सर्विस. तो वो सारा कॉल ड्रॉप्स वाला प्रॉब्लम कि which none of them have been able to contain it at that 2% thing that Try wanted them to contain it at. Try said 2% पलीकडे कॉल ड्रॉप्स होता कामा नये. As of now, with everything said and done, what we are finding is it's even today as high as 20 and 25%. So हो नहीं रहा है. तो वो हो इसलिए नहीं रहा है क्योंकि इन लोगों ने जिस किस्म का इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहिए था in establishing more stronger networks on the ground. These people don't feel that is important. त्यांचे सगळी गेम काय आहे की बाबा आमच्याकडे एवढे मिनिमम जरी कन्झ्युमर असले ना तरी देखील माझ्या बॉटम लाईन्स निघतात ना रे, मला फायदा होतो, मी कशाला अजून जाऊन त्याच्यामध्ये इन्व्हेस्टमेंट कर आणि अजून 4 गोष्टी कर. इट डजंट सूट मी. So as of now, this is not going to be worrying for anybody of them. B, being the sort of smart manager that he is, and take my word for it, इन्वेस्टर का पैसा डूबेगा पर रिलायंस के बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर्स के बहुत सारे पैसे इसके पहले बहुत डूबे. Reliance for a number of investors, especially for the small investors, the retail investors, has been a very dangerous company. Extremely dangerous. But equally remember this, he is not going to make any losses in this. This is the 9th straight year that he happens to be India's richest person, not for nothing. Okay? So वो पैसा खोने वाला नहीं है. वो और उसके जो इन्वेस्टर्स का क्लिक है, जो उस कंपनी को चलाते रहते हैं एक तरह से, these people are not going to lose money. It's the small, the retail, the institutional investors who might lose money. पण ते तशा प्रकारचे इन्व्हेस्टर्स आहेत ना रिलायन्सच्या अनेक एंटरप्राइजेस मध्ये इतक्यांदा हात पुढून आणि पैसे घालून बसलेले की त्यांना त्याची काय मोजली तर जागा उरलेली नाही. So nobody is worried about that. Would it affect the market? So yes, it would affect the market in a big way. In the sense that if Reliance falls, it automatically becomes a space opened up as far as the other competitors are concerned. एक maybe in some point of time, at least being the sort of person that I hope कि the benefit will go to people like BSNL and MTN. मला कायम अशी अपेक्षा राहते. आणि गेल्या वर्षी they really turned around and said, for the first time in their budget in a long time they showed this, 72 कोटी रुपये आपल्याला फायदा झालेला आहे. 72 कोटी. 72 कोटी for companies which are operating in thousands of crores is hardly a profit. Okay? पण तरी देखील आफ्टर ब्लीडिंग रेड फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 10 to 15 years when they were showing and turning around and saying की बघा एवढा प्रॉफिट झालेला आहे, it was so good, it was so sort of a good thing कि बाबा you could feel well about it. I at the end of the day strongly bat for anything that has got to do with the state. आपने को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं. अपना पॉइंट बहुत पुराना है, बहुत क्लियर है. Since you are in what is called as public services, since I deal with people who are interested in public services, for me strong state stands to be the reason for everything on the face of this earth. I would always search a reason to find out where would the state get strengthened in all of this, because ultimately that would be the power as far as the people are concerned. So उद्या जर का Reliance गेली ना माती तर फायदा is going to be as far as other competitors are concerned, and maybe having it started late, possibly one of the people who would benefit out of it would be people like BSNL and MTN. तो पैसे घालवणार नाही एवढं तर निश्चित आहे. तो त्याचे पैसे रिकवर करतो. तर तुम्ही मातीत गेले आपल्याला त्याची घेणं देणं नाही. आपले पैसे रिकवर झाले पाहिजे हे आपलं ठरलं.
सर ते कॅगने पॉइंट आउट जे केलं ना त्या कंपनीच्या बाबतीत, त्यानंतर पुढे प्रोग्रेस झालीच नाही.
नल एकही नाही. वही तो प्रॉब्लेम है. कॅग रिपोर्ट आली 2013. कॅग रिपोर्ट ज्या पॉइंटला आली त्या पॉइंटला वी वर ऑलरेडी मुव्हिंग टुवर्ड्स इलेक्शन्स ऑफ 2014. आता त्याच्यामध्ये आयडिया वॉज की ज्या सगळ्या प्रकारच्या गोष्टी काँग्रेसनी केल्या की ज्याच्यातनं अंबानींचा आणि त्यांच्यासारख्या फर्म्सचा फायदा झाला, मे बी आफ्टर द कमिंग इन ऑफ द मोदी गव्हर्नमेंट थिंग्स वुड बी क्वाइट डिफरंट. पण द प्रॉब्लेम इज थिंग्स ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट वर डिफरंट. म्हणजे they did levy certain fines and penalties and all of that on some Reliance companies and made it seem ki we are working in a very even-handed manner. But at the larger policy level, there was no change whatsoever. Nothing. म्हणजे ही जी रिपोर्ट आहे ना ही only for people in the field who are looking out for trouble know for sure that this report is in existence, which has clearly pointed out कि there was a collusion of interest. But for everybody else, ये रिपोर्ट एक बहुत ही conveniently एक तरह से दबाया गया रिपोर्ट है. Modi is not interested in these types of things. He's definitely not interested. There was nothing which was done with this report. Absolutely nothing. Atatar, since they have posted his picture in those Reliance Jio ads, almost as if he is not the Prime Minister of India but an employee of the company. तर काय म्हणणार ना, म्हणजे त्याच्यानंतर काहीच म्हणतात नाही ना. आणि काही कुठल्याही एंडला the PMO, which is normally alert about so many other things, did not even feel that you should register a feeble protest by saying that this was a wrong thing to be done. Whereas Prime Minister और President का पिक्चर कहाँ पे यूज किया जाएगा, इसका एक प्रोटोकॉल है, इसका एक प्रॉपर लॉ है. and these pictures are never supposed to be used for purposes like these. पण अत्यंत बिनधास्तपणे सदरील गृहस्थ हे प्राईम मिनिस्टर रिपब्लिक ऑफ इंडिया नसून सदरील कंपनी रिलायन्स जिओचे कर्मचारी आहेत आणि खूप हाय प्रोफाईल कर्मचारी आहेत. सॅड, इट वॉज रिअली सॅड, व्हेरी व्हेरी सॅड. पण नाही, देयर वॉज नो ऍक्शन विच वॉज टेकन ऑन एनिथिंग, ऍब्सोल्युटली नो ऍक्शन. हा बोल.
Sir, I have three questions that are really basic because I think it's not really detailed. First question is, why was Reliance the first company to take this initiative? Why did not the other companies come first? Okay, first. Second question, I heard from you in this lecture that idea will be facing a crisis, it would have to merge, etc. So why would they have to merge? And third question, if we consider that this Digital India, etc., this program, if we consider that this program is positive, then in that case, compared to Congress, could you say that BJP is at least listing out the points more clearly?
Listing out the points more clear, मतलब?
The roadmap अच्छा है, subsidies and technology, liberalization, etc.
No, but the point, as I said, is Digital India, maybe with a different name, would have had rolled out even if you had a Congress government in power.
Yes, sir. Even if there was Congress, it would have been continued. But the thing is that in BJP government, they're reporting it more clearly. Openly they are saying that they are going to support this initiative. Congress ने बीच बीच में subsidies दो, बीच बीच में help farmers, that has been absent in.
No. Digital India, in the first place, if you look at its broad contours, it was already defined when the Congress was in power. इसको खाली मतलब ये जो सारे programs है ना, Make in India, स्वच्छ भारत and all of them, these are not what are called as originally speaking the BJP's programs. ये सारे programs जो है ना, एक तरीके से इसका जो groundwork जिसको हम कहते हैं, in terms of listing out as to what is the state interested in as far as these programs are concerned, is what was already done when the UPA was in power. Already, some of them had already been initiated. Okay, it's just that when the BJP comes to power, it picks up on a whole range of programs. It goes about suitably altering them in terms of the way in which you're going to project them, with symbols, with images, with all these very smart things. Okay, it creates a buzz around it. The Congress never created a buzz around anything.
Sir, when we speak of Congress, usually to common people it appears that Congress is like pro-fascist.
No.
I might be wrong. Think of BJP, it is like by pro-modernity, pro-technology.
अरे, the people who tell you that गोमूत्र आणि शेण ही आपली राष्ट्रीय धरोहर आहे आणि यांनी साकारलेल्या भिंतींमध्ये जर आपण राहिलो तर आपल्यावरती न्यूक्लिअर अटॅकचा पण परिणाम होणार नाहीये. A prime minister and becoming prime minister in a star-studded public program goes out and tells you that, well, Ganpati is a sign of plastic surgery in ancient India. Their technology, my God. And Congress pro-farmers, सत्यानाश. तुला खरं सांगू का? म्हणजे pro not with a capital P but pro even with a small p अगर कांग्रेस ने किया होता ना being pro farmers, कांग्रेस 2014 में नहीं आ रही होती. Okay, the Congress's problem is the Congress has never been serious about this whole idea called as pro farmers. The last time that they were serious about it was when Nehru was prime minister during the first 5-year plan. उसके बाद है ना, the Congress has been under Nehru itself relentlessly pushing in the direction of what is called as a more industrial, more modern India. And BJP and modernity लांब पर्यंत काही संबंध नाहीये. लांब पर्यंत आपली मॉडर्निटी वेदांमध्येच झाली. मॉडर्निटी घेऊन बसले. म्हणजे आपण कायमच मॉडर्न आहोत. काँग्रेस कमीत कमी कसं आहे की बाबा मॉडर्न व्हायचं आहे आपल्याला, अजून काहीतरी आहे कमी की ज्याच्याकडे आपल्याला वाटचाल करायची. द बीजेपी पोझिशन इज बीन हिंदू इंडियन्स वी हॅव ऑलवेज बीन मॉडर्न सिन्स टाइम्स इमेमोरियल. आम्ही तर वेदांमध्येच विमान उडवून मोकळे झालेलो आहे. आता कुठलं मॉडर्न आता?
Congress, BJP, they are these political parties and
So Congress is ambivalent in the sense that if you remember what I had said when we did the 25 years of economic reforms thing, ki everything in terms of those reforms took place when the Congress was in power. But the Congress has always been ambivalent about claiming ownership of it. And the reason for not claiming ownership is the fact that in the changed post-reform situation, the Congress has not been in a position to derive an electoral benefit out of these reforms. So Congress का permanent problem ये है कि ये reforms ठीक थे या नहीं थे. तो इसकी वजह से Congress बहुत ambivalent appear करती है in public. Let's be very clear on this. Post 1991, political parties do not have the option of defining an independent economics. More or less, there's a difference in terms of degree. There is no difference in terms of objectives and intent. Let's be very, very clear on this. 91च्या आर्थिक सुधारणा झाल्याच्या नंतर जे पक्ष या आर्थिक सुधारणावर हुकूम आपल्या इकॉनॉमिक जे प्लॅन्स पॉलिसीज अँड प्रोग्राम्स आहेत त्याच्यात बदल घडवत नाहीत किंवा ते बदल घडवण्याबद्दल रिलॅक्टंट असतात त्यांची अवस्था सीपीएम सारखी होती. यू विल सस्टेन युअरसेल्फ. त्यांना खूप उशिरा कळतं की आपली अवस्था सीपीएम सारखी व्हायला लागलेली आहे. मग सीपीएम ऐन टायमाला जाऊन असं सगळ्यांना सांगून येते की वी आर कमिटेड टू इंडस्ट्रियलायझेशन, पण तोपर्यंत इतकं नुकसान होऊन गेलेलं असतं की तुम्ही ज्या वेगाने उडवून टाकले जाता यू आर नोवेअर ऑन द सीन. So post 1991, political parties don't have an option. Don't have no. I don't know whether I'm using the right word. Option से भी ज़्यादा, you don't have the autonomy of saying कि this is what the economic program of the country should be. The economic program of the country has already been defined. Okay, you have a simple option in terms of there are certain aspects of this program which you would speed up and gear up. There are certain aspects of this program which you might slow down. That's all. हाँ, तू तिथं पण असतं की बाबा ह्या केसमध्ये त्यांची जी एक इनहेरेंट किस्म की पॉलिटिकल मेंटॅलिटी आहे, त्यांचा जो एक सोशल वर्ल्ड व्ह्यू आहे तो तुम्हाला इथं दिसतो, असं घडू शकतं. पण इनहेरेंटली ह्याच्यात काही फरक नाहीये. काँग्रेस बीजेपी इन टर्म्स ऑफ इकॉनॉमिक्स रत्तीभर नॉट इवन वन स्मॉल डिफरन्स बिटवीन द टू. इकॉनॉमिकली दे आर कमिटेड टू द सेम प्रोग्राम्स.
One difference in their vision of economics, Congress is applying it in a certain manner. BJP not that.
No, I think we need to have a concrete illustration of this. Because to say that they are applying it in a certain manner is a very abstract way of saying they are doing it in a certain manner. Everyone does it in a certain manner. And when you say that BJP is applying it in a more direct manner, as I said, the BJP created a lot of buzz around these things, which the Congress never did. Matlab Nirmal Bharat started in 2011, but you never saw Manmohan Singh with a jhadu going around any street in Delhi cleaning it up. But the minute he came to power, Nirmal Bharat was appropriated as Swachh Bharat, and you had the Prime Minister in the very first year of his term in office moving around and ordering everyone to move around to create a big photo opportunity that is called as Swachh Bharat. तो वो difference है कि the Congress never did any of these things with that sort of visibility जो है ना, visible है, vocal है, वैसा कुछ नहीं किया. पर इसमें बहुत सारे programs जो है ना वो बहुत पहले शुरू हो चुके हैं. आणि एक प्रॉब्लम जो आहे which I've always said, Make in India started as part of the 2011 का industrial policy of the government of India. But the whole problem is what Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister can never achieve, okay, is something which he blew up as Finance Minister of India way back in 1995. So India's industrialization bus left in 1995. आप लाख कोशिश करो वो वापस नहीं आने वाली. आपका लास्ट चांस टू इंडस्ट्रियलाइज वाज इन 1995. यू ब्लू इट ऑफ. एंड इंटरेस्टिंगली इनफ उस टाइम पे भी प्रॉब्लम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स ही था. उस टाइम का प्रॉब्लम भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स ही था. 95 में मिस्टर सिंह अलाउड मैसिव इंपोर्ट्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गुड्स इनटू इंडिया, ऑल ऑफ देम कनेक्टेड विद दैट इंटरनेट वाला बिजनेस. And you had a problem as far as most of the Indian industrialists who are interested in electronic manufacturing were concerned, who are insistent on this that जितना आप इंपोर्ट्स को फ्री अप कर रहे हो उतना अगर आप एक कॉन्क्रीट पॉलिसी ऑन द ग्राउंड ले अप करो that we will go about manufacturing this in India, it would help Indian manufacturing. But the government had a completely different set of priorities at that point of time. 95 also was the time, mind you well, when they were actually thinking in terms of a nuclear blast. कि जो लास्ट मिनट को डेफर किया गया, पर 95 में we had come very tantalizingly close to it. So whether it was pressure coming from the United States and the World Bank, we are not very sure about it. But 95 May, Manmohan Singh as Finance Minister of India did not let a concrete policy of industrial development of electronic goods be defined in India, and instead allowed what is called as massive imports of electronic goods into the country. That was the last time the bus went, Tata, gaya wo. उसके बाद आप लाख कोशिश करो, आप इस गेम में 20 साल लेट आए हो. So in basics they don't have any difference, they are one and the same. True, but darling, that does not mean that the BJP is a modern party. That just doesn't mean it. Okay, modernity is not about the application of technology. हाँ बोल ना.
Sir, I find this contradicting in BJP. Okay, in social complaints they are like too conservative, etc. But in economy they are too liberal.
Dick, I don't want to spend this evening appearing to be an advocate for the BJP. But listen, since you raised that point, who told you that the BJP is a Hindu conservative party? The BJP never says so. Yeah, आपका perception है. हाँ, there are certain issues which are related to the Hindus of India that the BJP would be more inclined to support as compared to the other parties. Okay, and once it creates a buzz around those issues, the BJP might force the other parties to take a similar line or possibly a more positive line as far as those issues are concerned. But the BJP has never said that we are a conservative party. Never. Okay, remember the BJP is the same party that had taken a position as far as its leaders are concerned in terms of Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, insisting on this, that when it comes to section 377 ka debate in the Supreme Court of India, we should be going out and telling them that this section now needs to be dropped. So एक section है बीजेपी का जिसको 377 के बारे में बात तक नहीं करना है, पर एक section इस पार्टी का ऐसा भी है जो इतना influential है, they occupy top positions in the government, who are insistent on this, that we should be going to the court and informing the court that please don't tar us with the same brush, we have got nothing to do with this, you can as well drop this section. So ऐसा नहीं है. देख, ये जो एक तो water type किस्म का आया कि ये conservative है, ये liberal है, in Indian politics this does not operate, this is not a universal. Indian politics एक बहुत ही complicated किस्म का game है. People are going to play around with things depending on the exigencies of the time. Okay, the BJP has never said that we are a Hindu conservative party. Its opponents identify it as one. मतलब वक्त आने पे है ना, वो इतना immaculate party है, it will take all what are called as constitutionally right positions, it will define everything in the context of the law. हाँ, ते आहे कि most of the time it tries to bring in its worldview, which is a Hindu worldview, which is a Hindu upper casteist worldview, which is a Hindu upper caste patriarchal worldview, and it tries to mainstream it. किंवा बघा तुम्ही बोलून बघा, आपण ते टायगर कॅन्सल आउट करून गायला नॅशनल अॅनिमल करायचं का? पण ते तुम्ही बघा, आपण तू बोलतो का तसं? मी नाही म्हणतो, मी तुला सुचवतोय, तुम्ही बघा, म्हणजे झालं त्याच्यावरती काहीतरी निर्माण, तर आपण बघूयात लोकसभेमध्ये त्याच्यात विचार करता येईल काहीतरी. Okay, so when you push in those labels, you've got to be very clear of it, that the Indian political situation doesn't allow you to be in a situation wherein right or left, conservative or liberal would be all-time labels which can be identified. I mean, this is तुम्ही ते अमेरिकेमध्ये वापरू शकता किंवा युरोपमध्ये वापरू शकता आणि फार कमी सिच्युएशन्स मध्ये त्याचे तिथे चेंज होणार आहे. आपल्या ह्याच्यात सगळ्याच प्रकारे चेंज होत राहणार, सगळ्याच.
First, I had a discussion with Anish regarding this. BJP access for a conservative technology is in complexity. Then Anish said that this aspect of the party itself might be a self-destructing
Might be.
a self-destructing point. The technology over the economy, globalization, and conservative. These are the opposites, so this might destroy BJP from itself.
No.
It might be okay. Or I might be right. And second question, yeah, the thing that is entitled that even in BJP there are different angles. So this was said by the Singh and one of our editor. Okay. Now my question is that in which category would you like to put Modi and JP? In BJP, Liberal, yeah.
देख बहुत मुश्किल है because it will depend on issues. On certain issues they might appear very progressive and very forward. On certain issues they might appear extremely backward. So I don't like to go about categorizing them for all times to come. जेटली एक शातिर किस्म का आदमी है, एक बहुत ही लिबरल किस्म का बंदा है, पर मोदी equally is what is called as a case in the making. When one remembers Modi in Gujarat and one now looks at Modi in Delhi and one sees that there is a stark difference between the two. They are not one and the same. They are two completely different individuals that we are talking about. Very honestly speaking. Okay? He is fumbling. He keeps on fumbling. He keeps on making mistakes. He keeps on doing things which are outright stupid. But I would always give him the benefit of doubt that somehow or the other he is yet learning his ropes. He is trying to understand it. Okay? Now, he's not like Rahul Gandhi, who can go out and say, I saw my grandmother work as a Prime Minister of India. I saw my father work as a Prime Minister of India. He doesn't have that sort of benefit. Okay? So in that situation, I would always say कि he is somebody who is yet learning the ropes. वो सीख रहा है, वो गेम को सीख रहा है, वो गेम को और sophisticated करने का कोशिश कर रहा है. वो एक बहुत बड़ा challenge है. But that Modi is a challenge to India's polity is what I had said way back in May 2014 itself. And how would India's polity shape up ultimately depends on what would Modi do. Modi might be the best bet as far as Indian polity is concerned, that we can finally see the back of this entire business that is called as dynastism in Indian politics. Modi, if fails, dynasties come back with a vengeance. तो एक तरह से मोदी एक एजेंसी है फॉर फर्दर डेमोक्रेटाइजिंग द पॉलिटी, बट आई डोंट नो, दिस गेम इज येट एन ओपन गेम. ये अभी भी शट गेम नहीं है, एंड गेम्स नेवर आर शट गेम्स फॉर दैट मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट. वो होने के बहुत बाद गेम पता चलता है कि इसमें क्या हुआ था. So I don't like to put them into any straight jackets as of now. It will definitely not work. In terms of being economically modern and socially conservative, large sections of the United States and Europe are classical examples that we can live with both things at one and the same time. Now, huge. You look at the American presidential debate as of now. You look at the sort of language which is used when it comes to Hillary Clinton. I'm not an agent for her. I'm definitely not an agent for her. But you look at that language itself is very clear. कि America is having great trouble possibly electing. They are possibly going to like बहुत सारे लोगों का वही एक्शन है कि we are holding our noses but we are going to vote for because Trump is more nonsense. But you are holding your noses. Why are you holding your noses? मैं बनती कोई ना खूब scheming किस्म की औरत है. But equally scheming was her husband. Equally big fraud was her husband. त्याच्यामुळे असं काही नाहीये की बाबा इकॉनॉमी मॉडर्न असल्याच्या नंतर युअर सोशल इज ऑटोमॅटिकली मॉडर्न. दुबई, कतर, जापान, which spent agonizing moments in 2010 कि would we finally have a woman as an emperor? आम्हाला झोप लागत नव्हती, झोप. आम्हाला फायनली शांत झोप द्यावी लागली when the second son of Emperor Akihito finally delivered, his wife delivered a son after 2 daughters and after almost मला वाटतं ते 2 शेवटच्या प्रेग्नन्सी मध्ये ह्या डिलिव्हरी मध्ये कदाचित 5 का 6 वर्षांचा अंतर आहे and he possibly artificially assisted pregnancy. When the son was born, then finally the Prime Minister went to the Diet with this satisfaction, now we possibly won't need to change the imperial succession law, the son will succeed. His father won't become the emperor, but the child will succeed. त्यामुळे असं काय नसतं की बाबा इकॉनॉमी खूप मॉडर्न असल्याच्या नंतर लोक खूप शहाणी असतात आणि ज्यांच्या इकॉनॉमीज मॉडर्न नसतात ती लोक फारच वेडी असतात अशातला पण काही भाग नाहीये. ज्यांच्या इकॉनॉमीज खूप मॉडर्न नाहीये ते लोक पण खूप शहाणे असतात, फक्त ते शहाणे असतात हे इतरांना कळत नाही. ते एकमेकांना विचारत बसतात असे लाखांनी का फिरतायत. म्हटलं तुला तिकीट पाहिजे का, तुला पाहिजे नाही म्हणून तुला कळत नाहीये की आपल्याला लाखांनी का फिरायला लागतं. हा, एक मराठा इक्वल टू लाख मराठा. म्हटलं अहो 288 मतदारसंघ आहेत. सगळा प्रॉब्लेम तो आहे की आपण 1 इज इक्वल टू लाख हे सगळं बरोबर आहे, पण 288 मतदारसंघ आहेत, त्याच्या पलीकडे भरणार नाही. म्हणजे नाही म्हणायला 78 विधान परिषदेचे मतदारसंघ आहेत, पण त्याच्यामध्ये इकडं दोनदा हारलं की तिकडं मिळतं जाय. इकडं दोनदा हारायला पाहिजे. मग इकडं दोनदा हारलं ना की हे कसं नालायक सरकार आहे. हा फडणवीस हा सुप्रीम कोर्टात जाऊन भांडायलाच तयार नाही आपल्यासाठी. म्हटलं दादा तुम्ही 15 वर्ष सरकारमध्ये होते ना. 15 वर्ष आपण सरकारमध्ये असताना शेवटी जाता जाता अध्यादेश कशाला काढायचा. 15 वर्षापूर्वीच विधायक बनवून मोकळं व्हायचं ना. त्यामुळे भारी गेम असती बघ. हा बोल तू बोल.
Sir, what I have heard is Mr. Ambani has plans to provide free Wi-Fi at railway stations, various public outlets. So I won't be surprised if the Reliance Jio scheme is being affiliated with the Digital India movement. So because
it is. In a way it is.
Or the smart city mission. Sir, because it is not only a cellular company providing you the internet, but it is creating an entire ecosystem.
True. But
which the other opponents are, which they are not doing.
No, उसका एक रीजन क्या है, उसके जो बाकी सारे opponents हैं ना, they were never talking in terms of 240 million, 100 million. They were happy with a subscriber base of 20 million, 40 million. That is more than enough. कि इससे अपना प्रॉफिट निकलता है, हमको इससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. पर here is someone who is talking in terms of 100 million, 240 million, talking in terms of scaling it up. Okay. Now automatically when you are going to scale up the subscriber base as far as your service is concerned, automatically your subscribers are going to find themselves in situations which you have not imagined them to be. ज्यावेळेला माझा सबस्क्रायबर बेस हा 40 मिलियन असतो, त्यावेळेला माझा सबस्क्रायबर हा खूपच इलिट असतो, हा शहराच्या काही विशिष्ट भागांमध्ये सापडतो आणि मला तेवढ्या एरियाजमध्ये त्याच्यापुरती सर्व्हिस प्रोव्हाइड केल्याच्या नंतर माझं काम संपतं. पण ज्यावेळेला माझा सबस्क्रायबर 25 कोटी होतो, 30 कोटी होतो, त्याच्यानंतर ऑब्व्हियसली माझा सबस्क्रायबर त्या 40 तो जो काही 40 लाखाचा सबस्क्रायबर बेस आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा बराच मोठा होतो ना. 40 लाख नाही, 4 कोटी, 40 मिलियन इज 4 कोटी. सो ज्यावेळेला माझा सबस्क्रायबर 30-35 कोटीच्या रेंजमध्ये ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी मूव्हिंग ओनली इन सर्टन अर्बन जॉग्राफीज, ही इज गोइंग टू मूव्ह अक्रॉस द जॉग्राफी ऑफ इंडिया. So obviously with a subscriber base of 300 million or 100 million, I've got to talk of a larger geography. That's the reason why he's talking about this, that railway stations है, ये है, वो है. पर एक गोष्ट जी है ना, we have got to be very clear in terms of कि Reliance, once upon a time Dhirubhai Ambani did have a plan to run Indian Railways. उसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है? मैं old timers in the 1990s know कि Mr. Ambani had given a proposal to the government of India की तुम्ही ना रेल्वेज प्रायव्हेटाइज करून टाका. म्हणून तसा काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. दे हॅव ऑलवेज बीन ॲम्बिशियस, दे हॅव ऑलवेज बीन ओव्हर ॲम्बिशियस अबाउट व्हॉट एव्हर दे कॅन डू. रेल्वे स्टेशनचं काय घेऊन बसला, आम्ही अख्ख्या ट्रेन चालवणार. सो तो प्रॉब्लेम नाही. प्रॉब्लेम इज the state has to take these factors into consideration कि when it lets you operate over larger public spaces and geographies, how does it impact state security? Is there an element of state security which is involved? If there's an element of state security that is involved, can you let a private player enjoy monopoly over it? So मैं सगळे नंतर complicated questions येतात. दुसरं which I think I did hint at, but I need to make that point very very clear. 4G is more amenable to online surveillance, both state as well as private players. जो इसके पहले वाली जो सर्विसेज है ना वो इतनी इजीली एमिनेबल नहीं है, पर 4G बहुत इजीली एमिनेबल है टू व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज परपेचुअल ऑनलाइन सर्वेलन्स. कि दैट बिग ब्रदर वॉचिंग ओव्हर यू सिंड्रोम जो आहे, तू काय करतो, तू कुठे जातो, तू कुणाला भेटतो, तू कुणाशी काय बोलतो, या सगळ्या प्रकारच्या गोष्टी ज्या आहेत ना अत्यंत सीमलेसली यू कॅन गो अबाउट क्रिएटिंग डेटा सेट्स ऑफ इट. So 4G now, given the fact that it's a situation wherein you now interact more with the net, also is a situation in which the net can keep a better tab over what you are doing. 4G खूप अत्यंत सोयीस्कर, एकदम सीमलेसली अमेनेबल टू व्हॉट इज कॉल्ड अ सर्व्हिलन्स. त्यामुळे ते जे जुन्या गोष्टी घडू शकायच्या ना, की बाबा आय यूज सिम कार्ड when it comes to all those terrorist activities and militant activities which take place, and I easily destroy the phone and the SIM card. ये इसमें नहीं पॉसिबल है. ये आपका जिस तरह से रिकॉर्ड बनाता जाएगा ना, आप इतना इजीली ऐसा कोई भी एक्टिविटी नहीं कर सकते हो कि जिसके बाद आप फोन और सिम कार्ड को डिस्ट्रॉय किया तो आपका इस रिश्ते के साथ का संबंध हर टाइम के लिए खत्म हो गया. नो, दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. This will go about creating such a firm digital footprint in terms of your identity that even if you throw off the phone and destroy the SIM card, they would somehow or the other trace you down.
So Jio will no longer remain a company which is only targeting cellular network, but also create a public infrastructure with the aim of profit maximization.
True, but that is exactly what I am saying. The minute it moves into public spaces, state security becomes a very paramount issue. तो उस सिचुएशन में क्या स्टेट उसको इतना आसानी से ये सब चीजें करने देगी? तो उसका जवाब नहीं है. उसका जवाब बहुत क्लियरली नहीं. The minute you step out and start occupying public geographies, huge public spaces, saying that this is the geography of my commerce, that is not that easy a game to play. I mean, that is not a game which is played in so many other countries. It can't be a game which is played in a country like India, which is perpetually anxious about something called a state security. तो आपल्या केस में तर हे इतक्या सहज कधीच होणार नाही. ऐसा प्रॉब्लेम है होय ना.
From where the Geo is done, because I hear which was about the Geo last 2 decades, Reliance is much more interested in oil industries, but they are not getting that much of success. So if you write the word OIL on a paper and show it to the mirror, then we see that is JIO, that is Geo.
Right. No.
So that is one story I hear about the Geo. We get to what
No, I have no idea about it.
next question is in the future.
नहीं, पर एक मिनट hold on. Reliance is not making money in oil. I don't know where does that come from. Reliance is definitely making money in oil.
But how should जेवढं त्यांना पाहिजे?
तुझा प्रॉब्लेम काय होतोय? You are assuming this that if the price of the barrel has collapsed, the price for Reliance has collapsed. Reliance is not into exploring oil. Reliance is into what is called as refining oil, which is a very different activity altogether. बॅरलच्या एक्सप्लोरेशन आणि ट्रान्सपोर्टेशनची काही जरी वाट लागली ना तरी रिफायनिंगच्या कॉस्ट कॉन्स्टंट राहतात. त्यामुळे रिलायन्स इज मेकिंग ट्रेमेंडस मनी इन ऑइल. That's one of the reasons why when it fell on the stock market, when it comes to Jio, the Reliance investors were told, please watch out for the company's next petrochemical projects which will go online in December. तुम्हाला जर एवढंच अशी भीती वाटत असेल ना की आपले पैसे जाणारच आहे, तर तुम्ही आपले जे पेट्रोकेमिकल नवीन प्रोजेक्ट्स येतात ना त्याच्यामध्ये पैसे गुंतवा. रिफायनिंगमध्ये पैसे कमी नाही होत. रिफायनिंग एक अपस्ट्रीम ॲक्टिव्हिटी आहे, त्याच्यात काही नाही होत. त्यामुळे तिकडचा बॅरल हा 40ला जाऊ देत नाही तर 60ला जाऊ देत, रिफायनिंगची कॉस्ट फिक्स्ड राहणार आणि ते पैसे ते मिळवणार. ते पैसे ते काय वाटतील ते होते पैसे ते मिळवणार. आणि रिलायन्स लय शातिर प्लेयर आहे इन द रिफायनिंग गेम. I don't know if you know about that. Reliance gets oil from the Middle East, refines it and supplies it in a grid in northern and central India. Reliance refines oil for countries like Iran, which do not have very efficient refining capacities. So the Iranians send oil to the Reliance refineries in Jamnagar, and those tankers, after this oil is refined, go back to Iran. A problem which will now start getting resolved as Iran will start making more investments in the refining sector. Iran has a huge capacity in exploring oil, but Iran has always neglected something called as refining oil. मुळे आम्ही लय पैसे बनवतोय, त्याची नका काळजी करू. The idea that Reliance is not making money in oil, no, null. Reliance is making perfectly good profits on it. म्हणजे कंपनीचा कुठला जरी व्हेंचर फसला ना तरी हा एक असा व्हेंचर आहे जो काही केला फसणार नाही. आणि हाय म्हणजे दॅट इज ट्रू की लाईक जिओ इज द क्या बोलते हैं ना मिरर इमेज ऑफ ऑयल, पण दॅट्स आई डोंट नो. दिस इज अ नेम व्हिच दे हैड अडॉप्टेड क्वाइट अ वे बैक इन 2010-9 में इन्होंने ये नेम अडॉप्ट किया था. तो वो क्यों अब वो कहते हैं कि लाइक दिस इज we are enabling and empowering people to live better lives, and that's the reason why it's like Jio. And that sort of Jio is as एकदम की I assume a position of superiority over you, आणि मी त्या पोझिशन मध्ये तुला सांगतो की जाओ Jio. तो वो प्रॉब्लम कि डेमोक्रेटिक इक्वालिटी की फ्रेमवर्क में नहीं बैठता. हाँ बोल बोल तू बोल.
Sir, two questions related to Jio.
हाँ.
Sir, first question, why was Reliance the first player to enter into this?
No, Reliance was not the first player that entered into the 4G market. The 4G market already had Vodafone, Airtel and Idea Cellular working in it. Reliance actually is a much late entrant. Reliance entered late with the idea that we would put into place the physical infrastructure before we roll out the service. Okay, when the call drop issue possibly makes it feel that we have never worked on the last mile delivery problems. So तुम्ही फक्त काहीतरी एक initial ज्याला आपण transmission issues म्हणतो that has been addressed, but the other issues have not been addressed. So Reliance technically wasn't the first player in this. You already have Idea, you already have Airtel, you already have Vodafone who is working in 4G. Reliance now becomes a fourth company. And I think Telenor भी है. तो वो सब लोग पहले थे. हाँ, second yes, पण आयडियाचा प्रॉब्लेम काय माहिती का की आयडिया as compared to Vodafone and Airtel has a low base as far as 4G is concerned. And Idea is making a lot of its money even as of now in terms of hawking 2G and 3G services. So 4G का उसका सब्सक्राइबर बेस बहुत छोटा है, तो 4G वाला जो बिजनेस है ना उसको उसके बारे में कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा कि either it will have to entirely shut it down or it will possibly have to merge it up with somebody and continue with this game. But it is going to find the going very difficult. आणि जसं the market share of 4G subscribers as far as Idea is concerned will keep on eroding. तो उस सिचुएशन में आता त्यांचा एक प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे, they are mostly operating in similar geographies. That is Reliance and Idea mostly operating in the same western and northern India zones. And त्याच्यामुळे it is going to create a very strong problem for Idea. आणि if Reliance का ये plans जो है ये अगर workout हुआ in terms of eroding the Idea base, then possibly Idea has no other option. It will not like, no company likes to throw money after a venture which is not going to be profitable. मैं शॉर्ट टर्म में तो नहीं, पर अगर लॉन्ग टर्म में ये प्रॉफिट नहीं बनाने वाला है तो कोई फायदा ही नाही आहे ना. आणि ही गेम खेळताच त्या बेसिसवरती येते ना की तुम्हाला जर सबस्क्रायबर बेस वाढवता आला तरच तुम्हाला सर्व्हिस कॉस्ट कमी करता येणार. पण जर तुमचा सबस्क्रायबर बेसच कमी होत चाललेला असेल तर तुम्ही सर्व्हिस कॉस्ट कमी नाही ना करू शकत. तर मग तुम्हालाच पैसे त्याच्यामध्ये होतच राहायला लागणार आहे, जो त्यांच्यासाठी फायद्याचा प्रपोजलच नाही. डन.